once again. I got to thinking about it. Whenever it comes to relationships, I am definitely not the person to be getting advice from. But what I have come to the conclusion, you end up with goals in life. And those goals in life are, what you need to do is find somebody in your life that makes you crazy. That way you have ammo to make them just as crazy too. And then it becomes a competition to see which one of you can be put into an insane asylum first. And that's where we're headed in this story. Years ago, I had just got out of a horrible relationship and just pretty much gave up on women. As far as wanting anything long-term, short-term, I had decided I was going to be a bachelor. I did not want anything to do with anything. And that lasted all of about 6 months. So then, as irony would have it, I come across somebody, or somebody come across me on, at the time it was called MySpace. And they decided they wanted to see my picture. So they made a friend request, and I got ready to delete it, and I'm like, why not? I'm game. Let's see what happens. So I accepted the friend request. So shortly after that, we got to talking, and the day or two later, we actually went out. And that night, I ended up staying at her house. And the thing about it is, at that point in time in my life, I was a transient. For lack of a better word, I was living at home, or I said at home, but I had moved back in with Dad, living out of his basement. I was traveling 90% of the time, so technically I was never home. I was in a different town, different city almost every week. Plus I had a place I was staying with a friend in Covington, Kentucky whenever I was actually in town at the office. So, for lack of a better term, I was a transient. And then I met this girl, and the next thing I know, okay, now I've got a fourth place that I'm staying. Anyways, the first week we went out, had a good time. I spent the night at her house. The following week, you're in kind of that new getting to know people stage. I forget where I am. I think I might be in Jacksonville, Florida, and we're talking back and forth every night. And all of a sudden you get flags start popping up. And all the red flags start going off, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this is just almost too crazy for me. And in that first week, the flags went off. I just don't know that I can deal with this crazy. So, got home that weekend, saw her again, and every week, and everything would be fine on the weekends I was home. But whenever I'd go out, or I'd leave, and the flags would go off, and there'd be all this this craziness going on when I wasn't around. And I would just, every week I'd say, I get back, I'm done. I can't handle this. There's too many red flags. Well, fast forward a couple years, and I'm still seeing all these red flags, but I'm still there. And I'm like, why am I still here? Do I just really like this craziness? And still not sure. And things still don't make sense to me. And a little bit later, things go even a little bit further, and we get deeper into the relationship. And then it dawns on me, I'm making her just as crazy as she's making me. And then I started changing my philosophy about things. So now, as time goes on, it's let's see who can make the other one crazy first. And we're both hard-headed. And that's one reason we stayed together as long as we have, is we're still waiting to see which one's going to cave first. And I think that is the secret to a relationship. We have now been together for 12 years. I've been married 10 years to Crystal. And we drive each other absolutely crazy. And we love it. We love every minute of it. And I think we have now entered into a new relationship goal as to who can drive who crazy first. And we're really trying to get the next person and get the other person into a crazy asylum, because, hey, if you can't have fun, why be in a relationship, right? Even if it is all kinds of crazy and all kinds of flags go off, hey, those flags are going off for a reason. And sometimes they're just there to say, hey, that is the person in your life that you're there to make crazy, because they're going to make you crazy too. So, they say, hey, two wrongs don't make a right. Hey, if two crazy people are together and they're trying to make each other crazy, it just makes for a whole lot of fun. We'll see you next time.